My friends, I'm here. Where? Hi, guys. Welcome to another RodaTalks. My name is Renan. You guys know me from Roda de Ginástica. I'm here with Carl from Axel Lips.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we're going to talk with Tatiana Gutsu. We're just waiting for our guest. This is our first live interview. So it's a bit exciting, right?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to an Olympic champion, like an icon in the sport.
She's a 1992 Olympic champion. He was doing a very transitional time from the USSR to the countries that rose from the USSR, right? And she's actually from Ukraine. She was born in Odessa. And let me just check because she's coming, guys. Just a second.
We have 3 different places in the world to figure this out.
She said she can't open her link.
But she can or can't?
Can't.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Guys, please stay there.
I know. The star of the show will come shortly.
Yes, this is live, so I mean no cuts. So you see like everything coming, all the mistakes coming. Just a second.
Yeah. When most people know her as an Olympic all-around champion, but she's won 4 Olympic medals. She's won 4 world medals. Yeah, and so I'm excited to hear all about that, especially in the height of the USSR breaking up, which would be crazy. Gotta love lives. You never know what to expect.
Yeah, this is our first live as well, so it's a bit. We actually don't know what to expect from a live stream.
Yeah, go easy on us. We're doing our best here.
We're doing our best, yes. And she's trying to get in, but meanwhile, let's just talk a little bit about her. As we mentioned, she was the 1992 Olympic all-around champion. And what does it mean to be an all-around champion in gymnastics? It means that you are the best in all 4 events. We have vault, uneven bars, balance beam, and floor. So it means that you're the best out of all scores combined, So it's like a big thing. And she also won other medals, right? She won silver in the uneven bars, which is like a specialty event, and also floor.
Yeah, the bronze. Yeah. When people in my life were asking like, what was her biggest accomplishments? People in my life who don't watch gymnastics like we do. And I just told them, I'm like, she was the Simone Biles in 1992. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
And fun fact, I wasn't even born back in 1992. But I still heard a lot about her accomplishments and the way that she just beated the favorite, which was Shannon Miller back then, right? Mm-hmm. In the US. The USA had won the gold as a team in 1996. So they actually improved a lot after 1992, but she was the first woman to win an Olympic all-around medal. Oh, there she is!
Yay.
So guys, let's meet Tatiana Gutsu. Hi, Tatiana. Can you hear us?
Let's see.
Yeah. This is a live stream, guys, so things happen.
Yeah, bear with us.
If you want to hear the edited part, we're going to upload to our Spotify later. So, but this is still the live stream.
Yeah, exactly. But patience.
Patience. Life, that's the mantra of life.
Oh, and she's gone. We'll
It's
try
not here
again.
anymore. Yeah, we
Let's try
try
again.
again. It's gonna work, guys, please.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
still talking about it.
Yeah. That era was the time where the United States started to become.
There she is. Hi,
Hi
Tatiana.
guys. Okay, so I have to keep my phone this way. Hi everybody. Okay, so just give me a slight second so I can put everything in and
Yeah.
actually go live with you. Oh my gosh. You know what? I had a strong feeling to do this 1 hour before, which is I was. But hey, everybody has things, right? Okay, let me just put this here like
Yeah,
this.
it's a live stream. Everything can happen.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Thank you so much for initiating that too. Just give me a second.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Thank
Empowerment.
you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, like in 2024 terms, Tatiana Gutsu against Shannon Miller was pretty much Simone Biles against Rebecca Andrade.
Hi guys. Hi. Can you actually see me? Is it too much or this is good? It
This
looks
is
like a screen
perfect.
on my side.
This is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it's good. And happy the technology worked.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes. How are
Tatiana,
you?
first of all, thank you for accepting our invitation to participate in our podcast. It's such a pleasure to talk to you here. Like, uh, anyways, I think it's gonna be a really nice interview.
I'm gonna put this down. Is this better, guys?
Yeah, let's do that.
All
Let's
Because
do
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
then you're
feel more
then
I feel more spacious. Nothing is interfering. Guys, it's a wonderful pleasure to be with you today. And thank you so much. I don't think I met you. But Rhoda, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show. And what is your name? I don't think we have met yet.
not yet. We've commented in some comments a while ago. I made a video about you. Anyways, but I'm Carl. I run the Axel Leaps Instagram account.
Yeah. And my name is Renan. I'm one of the
Oh,
hosts
Hannah.
here at Roda de Ginástica. And yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. Honestly, thank you for
Pleasure.
accepting.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on your show, and it's an honor. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
let's get it started then, right?
Yes.
So first question, Tatiana, and how was it like growing up and starting a gymnastics career in the Soviet Union? And how did the country's sports system shape your early development in the sport?
Originally, I grew up in Odessa, Ukraine, and as we all know, back in 90s, and I think I was the last product of the USSR. I think this is why such a highlight is actually reflecting on me as a team, as a unified team and USSR product, as well as my teammates. But growing up in Ukraine, I actually grew up in the very poor household. So I am well aware not to have food on my table. Sometimes I am well aware not to have electricity or water sometimes, etc. So I grew up in that condition. And when I saw gymnastics first time, of course, it was the 1980 Olympic Games, and I got so excited. And actually, my dad was traveling from one republic to another republic, and actually, he had the opportunity to go to the 1980 Olympics, and he took my mom with him. I was just 4 years old, but when he came back, and he gave me a teddy bear. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, like this is it, staring into the television and watching gymnastics and watching how those girls are performing and jumping and tumbling around. And I mean, I didn't know what kind of events is that, but that was enough for me. It was enough for me to trigger me to go to gymnastics. And luckily, at the age of 5.5, I was chosen by my coaches, my very own coaches. I never went from one coach to another coach to another. They actually raised me. So they are my set of parents, second set of parents, because they taught me how to be responsible. They taught me the integrity. They taught me to be brave, to conquer my fears, to have balance and etc. So, and when we were traveling, they will show us opera theaters and museums and uh, many different things, such as musicals, and so for adults, musicals for the children, the puppet show theaters. I mean, all of those things I was learning while I was enjoying what I was doing, my gymnastics and my flipping. So the benefits and the bonuses was coming everywhere. Was it difficult? Oh my gosh, yes. But everything that I was seeing, everything that I was learning, I was drawn to it, and I wanted more. I wanted more, and I was hungry for more. And I think how my coaches are established, my me and the foundation under my feet, that they show how to set the goals, they show how to achieve the goals, and the in between, uh, the tools of not to give up. Although I wanted to give up so many times because it was so hard. It was hard to adapt to the time because, at such young age, from 7, I was already able to wake up on my own at 5:30 a.m. to prepare myself to go for my first practice. And at 7 o'clock, or 7:15, our first practice would start. And from 7:15 to 9:30, that's our first practice. Then of course I would go to school. School is about to like 3:30, and then again from 4 to 9, sometimes later. I was doing what I love to do, which is my gymnastics.
I love that.
It's
Did
lovely.
you, when you when you were holding the teddy bear from the 1980 Olympics, did you ever imagine that you would just 12 years later be at your own Olympic Games? Or wait,
I have not, as a little girl, I dreamed of that I would be there, but I don't think that I would manage to get there without my coach actually planting that seed. And I'm well aware that it wasn't just one seed, and you well understand, you put in many seeds on the field, some of them will grow and some not. And in that 10 years, I've seen many athletes, let me rephrase, many incredible, talented gymnasts who I was practicing every single day and didn't make it. Okay. So, but I think that my coach was planted that seed. And of course, when my father and my mom brought me that teddy bear, that just sparked everything in me. And I wanted to do it. It didn't matter to me. Snow, rain, lightning, no light, no heat in the gym, no chalk in the gym. We would use dust to swing on bars. So it didn't matter. I was going. I remember a particular time when we had in Odessa, we had about I think I was maybe like 3'8" or something, maybe barely 4 inch tall, and we had severe snowstorm to the point that no transportation could go. And I was walking literally through the snow to get to my practice because I did not want it to be late. I walked in, and I mean, the snow was right here, up here, and I was walking. I don't know. It sounds it sounds funny, but to me, I just did not want it to be late. I did not want it to miss practice, and I was there. And it was only a few people who show up. That's how we were responsible for our time, and that's how we were respectful for the other people time, including our coaches. So
That's amazing. I
That's
mean,
real.
it's I love hearing stories like this. It's unfortunate with when gyms are so underfunded or don't have the resources. But I love hearing athletes that keep persevering. So I love that you were so focused on your gymnastics.
thank you. My first, I remember right now I'm actually preparing, I am preparing for my in-person live event. It's the empowerment zone where I have incredible women coming from different parts of the world. And I'm actually writing a piece that it's part of my speech, that my first leotard, I couldn't even afford my first leotard, and neither as my parents could afford my first leotard. And my first leotard was made from a t-shirt. My mom sewed me a leotard from a t-shirt, but I wanted to be there. I wanted to do it. And if that was the way of her to encourage me to do what I love to do, then yes. I mean, it was gymnastics all over. It wasn't just gymnastics in the gym for the 9 hours every day that I already had. So the gymnastics was uh, going to the trolley stop, going from the trolley to the bus stop, leaping and cartwheeling and, pivoting the turns and stuff like that, just to make sure that when you finish your full turn, you're making the step into that right line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love how much gymnastics was such a part of your whole life. And the next thing we wanted to talk about, you talked a lot about your training regimen already, but during that time, because you were so young, I think people forget how young a lot of gymnasts are at the Olympics. Did you feel like you were making a lot of sacrifices as you were really ramping up for your elite senior career?
I think that sacrifices are necessary. It's hard to understand when you are in young age. But I think that sacrifices are necessary because through those sacrifices, you can actually gain and achieve all of your goals, whatever your desire is. So it's a must. But did I understand that back then? No, absolutely not. And yes, we had like altercations and stuff like that, but is it worth it? Oh my gosh, every bit. I mean, and I am doing my channel, and I'm talking about those sacrifices. They are necessary for to actually mold you what you wanted to do and how you wanted to make a impact. So it's not just mold you as a person, but what is the impact from that you can transfer to other people and help them to be realistic maybe with their dreams, or be realistic with their achievements, or whatever they are trying to make their dream go.
Mhm. Yeah, and like gymnastics is a sport that you get professional super young, I would say, right? Because we see a lot of sports that they actually get to this mature point when they are much older. But in gymnastics, it's when you're 16 years old. So most of normal people, they are very immature when they are 16 years old, but doesn't happen with gymnastics, right?
So in my era, where when I competed, we were limited, and I mean to say that we were limited because I think the horizon of young athletes was so fast
Hmm.
that, like, I remember when uh, I earned my spot to be on the national team, because you have to earn your spot. It's not just given to you. And in my era time, we had to go because we had republics. So in order for me to go to the junior national team, I would have to earn my spot in the Ukrainian junior national team. So then the next step of the process, you need to uh, earn, meaning you have to be so good and
Hmm.
so talented and win constantly, so someone is noticing you and they will make that invitation. So I would have to earn my spot in the junior national team, and then same thing for the senior national team, for the Ukraine, and then for the USSR as well. So it's a process step. That's what I said, that all of republics to combine together, it was enormous. I mean, the athletes was flooding just to be in that national team practice. I'm talking about selected 14 girls.
Hmm.
And then if somebody is coming out from outside and they're just on horizon, I remember specifically with Svetlana Horkina, because in 1992 we were about a week or two away to departure to Italy, and I will get back to you why Italy. So we were in the practice of those 2 weeks before departing, and Svetlana just came to train with us and see, and see and test how the atmosphere and everything, whether she wanted to do this or not, right? But we were already departing to the Olympics. But why we went to the Italy is because to adapt to the weather, adapt to the heat, adapt to the sun, adapt to the water, to the food, and equipment, and and everything that complements that trip. So that's
Yes.
why we had to go to the Italy.
With
Very.
I'm curious with such with so many different athletes coming from different all over I mean all over that entire area, was there was it hard to navigate, like, being like, how do I say this? Was it hard to navigate competing with them or trying to make the team? Like, was there a sense of extreme competitiveness? Was there, like, friendships? I
Always.
mean, is that hard? Is it hard to
Oh my
navigate?
gosh. Yeah, I love your question. And please don't hesitate. Absolutely. Absolutely, it was
Yeah.
competitiveness. Absolutely, it was the misunderstanding sometimes because we were rubbing each other, against the feathers, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's part of the being committed to be on the team. Was it tough? Yes. Did we have the differences of our thinking, or whatever it may be? Of course we did, but at the end we understood that our responsibility is to go and compete and be unbeatable, and that's what the USSR system was. And for many years we were unbeatable, and I'm honestly telling you that I am honored to be actually the last prodigy of the USSR Ukraine, because we had absolutely amazing, strong team going to the Olympic Games in 1992.
Hmm.
The sad part that we did not compete under the USSR, and we were first team, I think, that opened the door for to compete as unified team and compete under the Olympic flag and compete under the Olympic anthem.
Nice. And you were coached by Victor Dickey and
Victor,
Tamil
yes,
Evdokimova, right?
yes,
And
yes.
how did it influence your career all the way to the Olympics? Because you told me on Instagram that they coached you since the beginning until the Olympic gold, right? So
Yes.
how did it influence you all the way?
It's a process. It's a process because not just we were not just the well, in one sense, you can understand that we were probably just the coach and the athlete, but it was much more to it. In the beginning of the story, or in the beginning our live stream, I was explaining how we were impacted to go to the museums and to the opera house, and to all of amazing things that the world had to offer. But how they impact me is the tools that they gave me, and the encouragement. The encouragement was every day. Tatiana, if you're extremely tired today, don't just sit home. Just show up. Just show up to the gym. If your arm is not lifting or your leg is not stepping, just sit out there, be in the atmosphere. So it was never forced. So that's why I keep on saying that I was literally blessed with my coaches, because the connection and the balance that we had, I loved it all, because they actually shaped me who I am today and what I can teach others, and how I can translate the message that they install in me, that positivity, that drive, that just show up, because I'm not showing up for my coaches. I'm showing up for me. And through that, the integrity, how to be honest. I think that's very good lesson that I learned. Probably the hardest way, but I learned to be honest probably in the age of 8. So I'll tell you the story. It's actually a funny story. So we were supposed to go to school, and at school, we told our teachers that we're going for gymnastics. But we never went to gymnastics. We went to the movie theater because Rocky came out, and there was it was we could not miss that. We went there, so of course we lie in the school and we lie in gymnastics. So when the movie was done, uh, we went back to the practice, and I would say it was, instead of 3 o'clock or 3:30 that we usually show up for the practice, it was more like almost 6 o'clock. And of course coach asked us girls, where were you at, where have you been? And we said that we stay in school because our teacher want us to stay and to work on extra on extra things. We didn't remember what things, but I think our coaches were much smarter than us. They put one person there, one person there, one person there, and then they took a little bits of story and it didn't match. So, we were like, on the next day, we came to the practice, everything is fine. We were like, nothing is happening, everything is good. No, we got in big trouble. I mean, I was suspended from gymnastics, and
Oh,
I mean, you can take anything away from me, but not gymnastics, not my trampoline, not the bars, not the power tumbling that we had. Please just take everything, but not that. And we were suspended for a week, and I remember that very well because to me it was such a mm, psychological big hit that after that lesson I learned very well that I need to be straightforward, I need to be honest, and honesty will hurt,
Yeah.
but it's rather to be honest than have the consequences, because consequences was severe to me not doing gymnastics.
Well,
Yes.
well, as someone, I'm a teacher myself, actually. So whenever my kids are starting to sneak around, I start to hone in on them. Um, I have a follow up question about your coaches. So fast forward to the Olympic Games themselves. How did they help you like stay focused? Like, what was you and your coach's way to like make sure you had your best results? Was it like motivational talks? Was it just leave you alone? You'll be fine. Like, what was that process like?
I think over the 10 years, my coach was preparing me to that, and I'll take you to the particular moment. Um, we had a national championship, and at that national championship, from national center to the arena in Moscow, we had to go on the bus, and I got so sick, and to the point that when I walked into the arena, I just fainted. Like, we walked in and I just unconscious. So, and my coaches picked me up, took me to the locker room, put me into like a cold shower just for me to get back to consciousness.
Mhm.
But at that particular competition, it was my coach there, and at the same time he wasn't there. So he would, during the warm up, he would be there for the necessary skills to spot me, to direct me, and for some events he would not be there. So he was preparing me and testing me, see if I can handle this whole situation psychologically. So that was the particular event. But to the Olympics, when I was at the Olympics, my coach was not at the Olympic Village because the selection of the coaches uh, was different, and I was devastated. I needed my coach there because that was the peak of the career, and it was our dream. It wasn't just my dream. So it was our dream, and I, I, I was devastated for him not to be there by my side,
Mhm.
because at that particular moment and that particular time when we were in the village, I needed him the most. I needed his encouragement. I needed his support. I needed his hug. I needed him to hold my hands, or to put his hands like right here and tell me that everything is going to be okay. I needed that. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. He was in the stadium watching me. I didn't even see where he was sitting. But standing on the podium, actually, when you put that video clip, standing on the podium, I can see my eyes going like that because I was searching for my coach just to have that eye contact and let him know. I have goosebumps. To let him know that we did it. We did it. Yes. So I did see him after the competition. He came to the Olympic Village, so we did talk, and he did congratulate me. It was surreal. It was surreal because we didn't. I didn't even know at the time how to process the victory, because it was setting goals, achieving the goals, setting goals, achieving the goals, next competition, next win, next. And how do I celebrate that victory?
Did you guys celebrate even after the Olympic? Like, was there any celebration at any point?
um, a small one, I would say, when we actually went to back to Odessa,
Hmm.
when the my father actually flew to Moscow, and my father met me in Moscow, and then we went to say goodbye to the National Center. I didn't understand the goodbye because that was our last stop at the Moscow Center at that particular time when we came back from Barcelona.
Hmm.
Um, and when we arrived to Ukraine, Odessa, what the mayor of the city did, he uh, we had orchestra. We had orchestra standing on the train platform, and the music is going, and all of the kids from my gymnasium came, and the parents and relatives, half of, I don't know, it felt like it was half of my town was standing on the platform, and like the ovation and the music and the flowers, all of the kids came. It was wonderful. It was wonderful feelings to actually uh, be that star athlete and make a great impact and make somebody, say, I want to be that. Like I wanted to be that athlete. I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to be in gymnastics. So, but yes, I think we did good.
I think you did very good.
Yeah. In Brazil, we had a lot of influence from the Ukrainian gymnastics, from coaches that didn't work directly with you, as I can say, like Oleg and Nadia Ostapenko. But did you have the chance to work with them a little bit in the past, or
So
no?
I never. That was so the Nadia and Oleg is the original coaches for Tatiana Lysenko,
Mhm.
for Елена Abrashitova,
And
and for
Podkopayev as well.
Natalia Kalinina. So yes, Елена Abrashitova was extremely talented girl,
Mhm.
and but the pressure and the way everything was set in the national team, like I said, no, not everybody made it. Everybody trained, but not everybody made it. He was the coach of Lysenko, and he was the coach of Baginskaya,
Mhm.
closer to the Olympics. Yes, closer to the Olympics. Yes.
That's good. He actually kind of structured the program in Brazil. Him and Nadia moved to Brazil in 1999, I think, or a little bit after that. And we own a lot from our program to those Topenkos. Um, we even see now we have Irina Ilyashenko. She is the head coach of now Pinheiros Club, and she's also one of the big stars in Brazil in terms of coaching. She's also Ukrainian.
I'm sorry, who?
Irina Ilyashenko.
Irina Ilyichenko. Irina Ilyichenko.
Ilyashenko.
Ilyashenko. Um, I do not know, but
Uh,
the impact and the fascination of the
mhm.
Brazilian team, it says all.
Yeah, it's just that Ukrainian legacy in gymnastics is huge because after you won, also Podkopaeva won in 1996, right? The all-around
Yes,
gold. So
yes.
you have it like after the dissolution of Soviet Union, the true all-around Olympic champions were from Ukraine. So there is a big legacy coming from there, you know?
We're fortunate that we have a good foundation. We're not fortunate that we have good gyms. In fact, we do not have gyms at all. And especially at this particular time when everything is getting demolished and what is happening in Ukraine right now, to politically correct. Um, and it has been like this for many years. And in the time that I have been here in United States, this is my um, I have been in United States for 30 years. And
Mhm.
probably my first 20 years, every time that I would go visit my family, and I would also had a visit with a mayor of Odessa, and explaining to him that the legacies and all of the athletes, because it's already a natural talent. All we had to do just build and embrace because it's already there. But unfortunately, even from my side, it's unsuccessful. Even my voice is being out there unsuccessful to build that strong community. Um, but when I was growing up, we had a huge stadium, and in that facility that we had, it wasn't just artistic gymnastics. It was almost like a sports center. You wanted to run, go ahead. This is sport for you. You wanted to hurdle, this is the sport for you. You wanted to dive and swim, this is the sport for you. You wanted to do powerlifting. So everything was in one center, and it was right almost in the center of Odessa. So it was very convenient for all of the families to bring kids from school to the center, to the sports center, and actually explore. But what I like about our physical education and the coaches, that by the body type and by the body build and by the bone structure, they can actually tell you which sport you're going to be successful.
Mhm.
That's how precisely detailed that they can navigate and see the child. Rather the gymnastics is good. If gymnastics is not good, maybe you should go to tumbling or something else, although everything was already in the gym. So in the gym where I train, we had artistic gymnastics, we had acrobatics, we had power tumbling, we had trio acrobatics,
Mhm.
male female, we had male gymnastics, we had acrobatics duo. So everything was. I don't really remember about rhythmic gymnastics, although we had super high ceilings. I mean, the gym was gorgeous, beautiful. It's unfortunate that it's standing and just standing, and
Yeah,
no action is there. But once upon a time, that gym was filled with laughter, with hope, with dreams, and high chances to get to the Olympics, and I'm one of them.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all that. I love hearing so much background. It just paints, I feel like viewers of sports see like the Olympic medal moments, but they don't see like the years and years that built to that. So I love hearing so much background.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Um,
Especially regarding the USSR, because it used to be so close, and after that, it kept being close. And thank you for sharing all this.
Absolutely, my pleasure. If you have any more questions, float
No,
them.
oh,
we do have, we
we
do
do.
have.
I
Plenty.
yeah. Well,
This is a true treat.
oh, good. What's treat for us as well. Well, around the Barcelona Olympics, the USSR collapse and everything was changing. How did this like how did this like political climate and all like the chaos going around that time like impact you in at the Olympics, or was there any impact for you at the Olympic Games?
I didn't feel the impact. What I felt is a proud moment to actually be the first athlete female who raised the Ukrainian flag, who raised the Ukrainian anthem, and who got the gold home to Ukraine. So it's a precise, a proud moment, and nobody can ever take that away from me. Did I do the bite medal? No, because we were structured to do things certain way. um, but it can go later. Um, the impact was just to be proud that Ukrainian girl, and to encourage other Ukrainian females to never give up, because distractions can come from anything and from everywhere and from anywhere. And just stay true to yourself, to your dream, and get to that top, because um, when you get to that top, it's very hard to stay on that top. But I think because this political transition was happening, so I didn't feel like I did have enough time to actually be on that horizon spotlight, because it was kind of like, okay, so we came home, what's next? Okay, let's get ready for the next competition. Wait, what? Wait a second. Can I please just a little bit, like, what's the celebration? So it was like, next, next. If you don't want to do it, there is there's line. It's not just one person. There's line standing, waiting for your spot. Um, Unfortunately, I could not continue. I wanted to continue so bad, and I tried to have those comebacks, and because the mind and the heart is saying one thing, but the injury is whispering on completely on another side. So when I actually went to the competition in 1992, two months before Olympics, I had a Novocaine shots into my back, because I it was hard for me to even walk. We had specialists that came from Japan to do an acupuncture for me to release the pinched nerve. It was a severe pinched nerve. And then I think, like, 1 week before I competed in the Olympics, I had another shot in my back just for me to get through. So it's many speculation of, oh, she didn't do that well or whatever. I did my best. We trained for that particular moment. And but that injury creeped up on me in 1996 time, in 1994 time, not 96, I'm sorry, 1993, 1994. And in 1994, it's unfortunate decision that me and my coach need to make, that this is it, and we're not going to continue to do and to perform. Although uh, to the very last day, my coach said, Tatiana, you have enough difficulties and skills to even compete today in 21st century. So that's how we progress our skills. My coach was constantly finding new skills, constantly drawing and writing something in his journal, constantly drawing the pictures, and like, what can we show the world? Like, what can we do now? What is the, like, when we go to a competition, if you Sometimes I go on YouTube, and sometimes I just look at the stages of the progression. I remember the 1990 Goodwill Games. That I competed round back handspring whip, back handspring double layout. And I was only 13 years old. But my coach said, "You're fast, you're light, you're small. We got to do this." All I did is like not went to the corner of the floor, and I just like went and did that tumbling. He's like, "Okay, that's what we're gonna do out there. Let's wow everybody." And everybody can start talking about, who is Tatiana Gutsu? Is this just a name? Is this just a little girl with the blonde hair and blue eyes? It's time to make a statement, and it's time to start earning your place. So this is kind of conversations we had from the young age that I remember. I don't ever remember any doubting, any shouting, mm, anything to that extent. It was always encouragement. We were always making plan. We were always making steps forward. It didn't matter if we if the skill was stronger. Let's just show. Let's just show that we can do this, even with the spot. And I remember that I think it was a junior national championship, and it was in Uzbekistan, Tashkent. But we were preparing. Our team was preparing at the Moscow Vatutinkin, and my coach was spotting me on the balance beam, triple back handspring, double layout. I mean, that was like 1986, 1987. So of course then we had to change a little bit the style of the back handsprings, because the style of the back handspring originally I had three back handsprings with 2 feet, and he thought because I'm fast and because we can fit everything, so three back handsprings would be enough to accelerate the speed and put that into the double layout. And we were doing it. We were doing. Unfortunately, I hurt my hand. I broke my a couple of bones right here in the hand, which has happened in another competition. But I went through the competition with broken hand because I was afraid to tell my coach that I hurt my hand, because not because I wanted to compete, and I thought that if I'm going to tell him, he's going to take me out of the competition. I didn't want him to take me out of the competition. I wanted to compete. So I competed, and if you remember, we had compulsory, optional, uh, all around, and then finals. So like the 4 days in a row of competition, and with the broken hand and all blue and puffed, I qualified to all 4 days. And surprisingly I did very well, and uh, at the end of the floor, I think I got like third place. I have no idea how I got that third place. And he's like, "Congratulations." And he's shaking my hand at the end. Like I was standing on the podium, and the coaches were coming in. He was shaking my hand, and they went like that. And after the podium, when we walked out, he came up to me and he said, "Let me see." So I showed him my hand, and it was like big blue, purple, red colors, all of the beautiful colors you can see. He's like, "What is this?" And I said, That happened and the warm up 2 days before competition, and he said, and you competed throughout the entire competition without saying the word. So I think he saw that will, like that the willpower. It didn't matter. I wanted to do it, and like from that point, we actually start training even more. Not more hours to increase because the hours was already there, but skills. We did skills. And as I'm teaching now my athletes at Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy, there's a certain age that you can teach the skills, and it's up to the 13 years old. So the more you teach in the very beginning, the more they're gonna know. By the time they're gonna get 13, they're not gonna be afraid of that skills anymore because it's a time to work on that perfection. And that's exactly what my coach did with me. So that's why we were literally flying on top of the world and in every country.
Nice. And you mentioned about we talked a bit about this transitional time between Soviet Union and then 1992 Olympics for the unified team. And how was it for you to compete for the unified team and actually rise the Ukrainian flag for the first time at the top of the Olympic podium instead of the USSR?
Okay, so when we heard our name as a unified team, to us, we weren't prepared. We didn't know. So that's why on the podium where we're standing, there's lots of pictures that we're like talking and interacting with each other. It's a very rare photo. I don't know even if anybody had that photo that we are standing with our flowers and looking forward because it was unexpected to see the Olympic flag. No disrespect in any meaning. And if that was the choice was given to us, we are proudly presented the International Olympic Committee and the anthem and the flag. It was very respectful, but we we it was unexpected to us. So as a team, everybody probably saw that we were wearing the emblem, still representing USSR. So that teeny tiny detail was collaborated between us, which is the team. So I think that's why it's making a significant difference and a highlight because I mean, here we are, 15 years old, standing on the podium and literally on top of the world because you cannot go higher than Olympics. Olympics is the top. But to make such a decision, we were giving our professional respect to the country that raised us, that gave us platform, that gave us one of the most stronger coaches in the world because they were selected to work with the national team.
Amazing. And I wonder, I personally wonder, like, did you notice these political changes? Because, for example, Boginskaya, let's take her as an example. She's from Belarus, right?
Yes.
And for example, you were competing under the USSR, the flag. You competed in 1991 for the USSR, and then later as the unified team. Did you have this thing like my teammate can become my competitor at any point?
Well, regardless what republic we're or well, politically correct now, it would be a country.
Yes, of
But
course.
back then, it was republic.
Mhm.
To me, it didn't matter where Svetlana was from because she was my teammate. So I rely on her, she relies on me. So, as together as a team, we have to work together. As of when you're competing in individual and for the all around, yes, then I have to compete for myself and everything that my coach taught me for so many years of preparation, of so many hours of dedication. And, sick or not sick, we were there, we were showing up. So that competitiveness in gymnastics, I think it's a wonderful thing, to be honest, because it teach you a discipline, how to respect another teammate, another person, which is a absolutely great tool for the life lesson. And then at the same time, you have a lesson how to compete for yourself, which is now a lot when we are adults and growing women or or man, you as a young individual did sports and you were competing with the team together. So it's I have to encourage my teammates because it's in my best interest. Whether I have something against them or not, I have to. It's my duty to be supportive. It's my duty to run and give the hug and the kiss and whatever necessary words of encouragement to that athlete. But then when I am overnight, and it's literally overnight, and then overnight you are selected, or perhaps in my shoes that I was selected to compete all around, and I was given chance. I strongly believe in second chances, and if it came from the higher authority to giving me that second chance, then I will do everything is possible that I train my whole life just to show my best performance and to show what I'm made of.
That's amazing, and I love that you were a supportive teammate because I mean sometimes in sports, not just gymnastics, sometimes in sports there are people that are not very supportive. So I love that you were. Um, and going back to the all around, I'm just curious, like when you officially win, so like to the point where like the scores are final and like the process, you go back and then you start marching out and you go on the podium, that entire like 10, 20, 30 minutes, like what were you experiencing? I know the easy answer is probably happiness, but like from your perspective, like what were you experiencing at that time?
I my experience was to connect from the podium that I was standing from that particular side. I wanted to really connect with my coach. Like that was my ultimate thoughts. And then while I was standing there, the thoughts about the family, the thoughts about that I did not let my countries down because I understand that I am from Ukraine, but USSR raised me as well and gave me that foundation. So I was like, everything was overflowing, and how thankful I am and how grateful I am. And just it's a different flood of emotion, but probably the most one that I was telling myself inside that I did it. I did achieve that ultimate goal. And the interesting fact that while I was standing there and waiting for other athletes to come to the podium, interesting thought came to me that when I was a little girl and just starting gymnastics, and my coaches came to my home. I'm standing on the podium. So this is my thoughts. I'm 7 years old. I'm my coaches and me walking into the house. talking to my parents and telling my parents that your little girl would be Olympic champion.
That's
um,
that's incredible.
besides that, yes, besides that, the happiness overflowing, and of course, I wanted to run to my teammates and give them the tightest hug ever, because all along they were out there with me at all of the competitions and supporting me. And I wanted to run to the coaches and receive that big tight hug. And the it's unimaginable feelings that running through in those 20 minutes. um, Different thoughts, different emotions, different uh, the happy, the sad, the wanna cry but don't cry because maybe it's your weakness. The laugh, then so it was like it's just a flood of many different emotions that I was taught to control, and that was the moment to actually release them and have it all. So, but I am, transitioning and translating this happiness in now life, with the tremendous things that I am doing. The Empowerment Zone is a platform for women to encourage and to empower. The translation of all of that victory and hard work, and my coaches getting me, preparing me for the life, uh, is Tatiana Gutsu Foundation, that is supporting Ukrainian children and families, and supporting special needs as well. The Success Saturday with Tatiana, the Tatiana Gutsu Crystal Cup, the American Gymnast Invitational competition, the Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy. So all of those wonderful things, all of my coaches, this is all their work, because the foundation was properly installed. So I think that's why I wanted to give back to the communities now, to let women know that they're unstoppable, to let them know that they can be encouraged if they had a hard path or line right now. It's okay, because it's a transition. And during that transition, you have to sacrifice something in order to get there. So, all of those components and all of those little seeds and all of these bonuses are, they're just overflowing right now, just to make sure that in 21st century we are uniting, because I think it's very it's a very interesting time that we went through, uh, perhaps take 5 years ago and now, when we were disconnected from each other. And I think it's time to unite, and it's time to get connected, whatever which way it is, whether it's through the virtual or live. But I think I'm trying to get the live back connection, because that's the coolest thing. We have to get connected again.
Exactly. And it moves a bit to our next question here. It's
Yes.
about Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy. So after you retired from competitive gymnastics, you moved to the United States and you moved into coaching and you opened your own academy. And you already talked about it a little bit about how do you approach your athletes, but we wanted to ask a little bit more like how do you apply everything that you learned into teaching your athletes right now?
Ooh, oh, that's a cool one. It's kind of like many questions in one. So I opened Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy 10 years ago, and I wanted to build something positive because you understand that the sport of gymnastics actually took a tremendous fracture, and based on based on my experience with my coaches, I wanted to translate the positivity because there is positivity in our sport. And I wanted to translate. I have a wall out there by the bar area. I'm actually in the gym right now. I have a wall in the bar area, and every time where my athlete is afraid to do something, so we turn around and we reflect what's on the wall. And what's on the wall is I am brave, I am magnificent, I am successful, I am confident, I am courageous. So all of those words are out there. And because it's a little bit hard sometimes to just, we have many athletes coming to the Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy and many kids in the team. So with that, I have to put something out there so they can pass by. It's there. And anytime they need that word of encouragement, whatever situation they're meeting, it's right there. The encouragement out there, and they can reflect that. I do have a very positive approach to the kids because they need to understand, and I think all of the coaches need to understand that not everyone will get to that top. With that, we need to set uh, boundaries of respect from a coach to the athlete and athlete to the coach, the expectation and the communication. I think communication is a necessary tool because if an athlete is afraid to do something, the athlete would just stand there and silently going into that scary bottle. So my job is actually to step in, pop that bottle, and have a quick communication so we can find the tool to solve that problem, to have that encouragement just to try one time, So those kind of things. So I implement everything that my coach taught me, and everything how I grew up here in the United States. I came to United States when I was only 17 years old, and I had to learn English. I had to learn how to live life. I had to learn the skills that I didn't learn. So that was kind of like my life lesson. The communication skills, the all of the life skills that are necessary, even to go to the store and purchase something, and or to have a slight communication to express myself. What is that I want? Because in the beginning, when I came in 1994, I was just showing with the finger, and afraid to express myself, and that was challenging times, meaning I had to conquer my fear to actually open up my mouth and say something, and not just say something, but so actually I have been understood. So that was my progression line. But with the gymnastics, mm, it is for me, it's a necessary step for me to give the child confidence and to give the child self esteem. Because as soon as they gain the self esteem and confidence, they will conquer the world. They need to have that foundation, and I'm gonna keep on preaching that because we don't want our kids to have a broken soul because that's not we're here. Our young generation is looking up to us because we achieve something, or if I have to reflect on me, yes, I did achieve something in my past, but because that my past, I need to reflect my past and give a tremendous exclusive tools to that, to those individuals, because tomorrow they may change their dream and they're gonna say, I wanted to be an artist, I wanted to make a fascinating pictures out there. So my job is to give the foundation of confidence and self-esteem and all of the necessary tools that they need to have to get to their future with a strong spirit, with pure heart, and have absolutely zero bitterness about the sport of gymnastics. That's what I do.
I I love that. And like I've mentioned, I work with kids as well. So I love that you focus so much on their confidence and just like believing in themselves first, because that translates to things in sport and out of sport. So I love that so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's really nice.
Thank you.
Um, I well, quick one quick follow-up question. You mentioned adapting a lot of what your coaches instilled in you growing up. Is there anything like really specific that you instill in your athletes that was not instilled in you and your with your time training, other than like just adapting to like the United States culture and stuff like that? Is there anything specific that you changed your coaching style in comparison to what you had?
I changed my coaching style is to have a, well, I didn't change, I implemented. So yeah, if I would say change, it would be absolutely even wrong phrase for me to say. I implemented everything that my coaches, Tamila and Victor, and other coaches who worked with me, I implemented all of their style and all their positivity, and I'm implementing that into the kids that come to Tatiana Gutsu Gymnastics Academy. We also have special stars that come in here, and we're, my academy is open to. I specialize in the women's gymnastics, and so just a little bit, maybe 1%. We have a boys club class, but again, boys club class is for strictly again self-esteem, confidence, discipline, because boys need that, because they would transition that to the young, respectful male in their future. So it's just a slight correction out there, but mainly 99.9%, it's a women-oriented facility. And also I have adult classes, and all of my teams, adult team is going to competition too. I was actually the first gymnastic club here in the state of Michigan who opened the door for the adults. But back to your question, to implement, I don't think that I'm missing any factors that my coaches missed, because I am who I am because my coaches raised me and the way they raised me, because all of the necessary things that are complementing my life now and what I'm doing now is a huge thanks to my coaches. So I'm just trying to translate that positivity into the younger generation now. And if they need to have a philosophic phrase, then I will bring that philosophic phrase and or a story into them, because that's what my coach did. And when we were traveling from my very first trips to from Odessa to Ukraine to the national to the center to train, or from Odessa to Moscow. We would travel on the train overnight, and my coach would always tell us Greek mythology stories. And the one perhaps the with the students that built the wings, and he was flying so high that he went to the sun and he burned his wings. So, and somewhat that's philosophic uh, I- implement to the thought is, yes, you can get to the high peak highlight of your career, but it's up to you not to burn your wings, because the teacher told him all: how to build, how to fly, how to not to get too high. And but he got so excited, and he actually went higher to the sun and burned his wings, and of course dropped. So um all, even that such story still stays with me, because you can't just have highs, lows, high, low. You have to maintain that. And I think um, for me, it took tremendous years and tremendous hours to find my purpose. I know that not a lot of people actually find their purpose in their lives, and find what are they supposed to do. And let me tell you, I was there too. And it's nothing wrong with that, because we wanted to find our purpose, and we wanted to be helpful to others, because after all, we're getting our knowledge from our mistakes. And we're getting our knowledge from life. The more mature we get, the more we know. And I wanted to make sure that I am providing necessary steps for others to not to get burned wings, and to actually maintain their highlights and maintain their level, not to get their wings to get burned.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I actually love that story. I think it pertains to a lot of things in life.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Um, um, so switching gears a little bit. So going further in your life, what inspired you to go into pageantry? Like, how was that transition to your life? Because I know that you were Mrs. Michigan, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. I'm making sure I said the terminology right. So what was that transition like? Where did that come about?
That was very awesome experience, to be honest. I thought that maybe I can conquer something inside of me, and that's why I made that step. Not like I'm fearful of life, um, but I wanted to challenge myself what I'm capable of, and how I can have that experience and translate that into the now life. Being Mrs. Michigan 2024 gave me a very strong platform to actually work with women and be surrounded with growing women, because all my life I worked with youth, and I was helping youth, and I was making their strong foundation. And I wanted to challenge a little bit myself, and to get out of the comfort zone and see if I can do this. And again, that is not something that I would, dream of or anything like that. But I think it was a necessary experience that I must go through. Because Competing on the floor is a one thing because you're tumbling, you're doing your skills, you're dancing, but you're silenced. And through the dance, you have to you have to tell the story. Okay. Well, that's what I was taught. When you're dancing through the dances and through the arm movements, you have to, and through the facial expression, you have to tell your story. What is that you're trying to give audience so they can understand what you implementing and what you're trying to say. So that's actually hardest than to go to and so go to the Mrs. USA pageantry. But it gave me, I think it gave me more confidence because here I had the opportunity to tell the judges and to tell audience that what I stand for, what I believe for the integrity, for the courage, for the bravery, and honesty and respect. And that platform gave me that opportunity to actually being heard and being judged. Was it enough of what I was trying to implement? Probably not, but I will remember that to the probably to my I mean to the end of my life because I wanted to do that. And the first thing the first thing actually when I stepped down from the podium, I went to my husband and I went to my son. I hugged them and it was so amazing, to have that support. And I said, "Oh my gosh, next stop, Mrs. Universe." And and my husband, he's like, "You have so much confidence. I don't even know how you're standing on that podium and you're just rocking it." And I had a tremendous support from my son. My son was finding me tutorial, how to walk, how to hold the body, how to hold the posture, where to hold the arms, and how to walk. And the funny thing, what my son Anthony said, he's like, "Mom, you're walking like a soldier." And I said, "You don't understand. That's what we were trained to do. And we were supposed to." I was like, "On the hills, I can't point my toe because I'm supposed to walk from my toe. And here you're walking from the hip, you're more laid back, and you have to a certain way hold your body." So it was a very cool experience. Am I gonna step into the Mrs. Universe? I don't know. But for me, it was a lifetime experience, and of course, boost for my confidence. And I have met many women out there competing for the Mrs. USA title, and all of them incredible, and all of them super knowledgeable and talented, and what they have to bring to the communities, and how they're shaping the now women and male and youth. And everyone was super amazing. Actually, I have for the empowerment zone, I have few women that I met at the Mrs. USA. They're one of my speakers. I met Neetu Rishi. She's Mrs. Universe India and author of 3 books. She's coming to the empowerment zone, and she is one of the honor guest speakers. I have Elise Nesterov is coming. She is a Harvard graduate, and she is advocating for international women rights. I have Tatiana Didenko, who became Miss Worldwide, coming here. She's in the state of Florida, and she's advocating for the kids who was left by their parents. So I have Michelle Lino. She's the host of Mind Matter. I was a one of her guests at the show here locally in Detroit, Michigan. I have Oksana Chusavitina coming. She's our honorary guest that coming, and she's going to speak to our women. And of course, I'm going to be finishing the my speech. My speech is the gold medal moment and the steps to the gold medal moment, and how everybody else can implement the gold medal moment in nowadays and in now goals. And our master of the speaker is Jessica Harris. Uh, she is a absolutely wonderful, and I'm just extremely thankful to the universe that we have met. And she is also a Hall of Famer in NCW in NCWA. So
Very
this
nice.
is
Yeah.
this is what the life lessons are, um, expanding the possibilities of meeting incredible women and learning something valuable. But when I was there, and a lot of women said, Tatiana, you were so composed, and you were like not once through the 4 days that we were there, not once that you looked like you were nervous, and not once that you showed your disrespect to somebody, and you were so composed and focused on the lines and on the walk and then everything. So to me it's a great compliment, because again, because of my coaches and because the environment that I grew up, and environment and foundation that I was giving, it's a compliment to all of the people who actually planted that beautiful seed, and I can flourish and I can share that knowledge with everyone else, and somewhat encourage them to be their best version.
Very nice. You talked a bit about artistry, like about telling a story with the movement and the music. And the Soviet gymnasts, they are still remembered up to this day for their artistry and their gymnastics. So, looking back, how would you assess this legacy that the Soviet Union gave to gymnastics up to this day?
Again, like I said, we when we were practicing at the National Center, and all of the coaches or ballet teacher or choreographers, they were selected very, very carefully. Who's going to work with, who's going to work with us? For me, perhaps because I was super fast and and no fear, my expertise was the tumbling. So it was very hard for me to express myself because all I wanted to do is tumble. Please don't give me the choreography. I just want to go tumble that way and do my thing. But reflecting on few of my competitions, and I think my best choreography, and she literally discovered me, like she discovered my style. It wasn't just a dance, it wasn't just a music, she literally discovered me. It's Mila Gradova. She did my composition for the 1991 World Championship. I love that. I mean, that routine was amazing. I'm talking about it, and I'm having goosebumps. I love that routine so much, and I wanted to keep that routine for the Olympic Games. And uh, the decision of the head coach and my coaches was to actually go in a little bit more uh, different direction, more like the with the smile. And it was very hard to get the smile out of me because I'm more about tumbling, you know But I think that same coach. I know that in the time of 1990 and 1992, I know that Steve Nuna was bringing Shannon to Moscow and to actually work in the place. It's called Dynamo, and she was the choreographer, I think, for Shannon for the 1992 uh, composition that she made on the floor. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful. It was just a perfect match. The personality, the music, and the choreography. I mean, it cannot get better than that. It was nothing missing. But I had a different choreographer for the 1992, and I just feel that if we would make, instead of six, no, it wasn't even 6 months. It was like 4 months. Like literally, we changed the composition 4 months before the Olympics. Something different, because there's many videos out there that we had our final practices in the National Center in Round Lake, and I was doing completely different routine, but that routine was not clicking, just wasn't, it wasn't a good match. Yes. So I think it's very important to actually, and my coach did tell me, because you cannot speak, but your hand gesture and your head gesture, that needs to tell the story. Who are you? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do? And who you're trying to impress? And what you need to try to impress is the audience. So the audience just go, wow, crazy, absolutely ecstatic, and fall in love with you. So, but the gymnastics now is unbelievable. It's amazing, and I think it's it was a very delicate transition, because I think it was only 15. Yeah, at 15 you can start competing, but then the peak was like 18, not higher than that, like 18, 19. So Oksana is actually broke that wall, broke that rule. And she's literally unstoppable, and competed in the 8 consecutive Olympics and being in the World Guinness Book Record. I mean, this is just a tremendous, and who would have known, because I think when I was growing up, and let me tell you that everyone was talking about that, all of the athletes, okay, this is it for me, world champion, this is it for me, because the line was waiting for the spot. So it's now or never. You have one chance, and you have that one chance. And, like I have been saying, it's a 10 years of 5 minutes of perfection. Although competition is two something plus hours, but if you take the layers out, it's only 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes of perfection, not more than, not less.
Yeah, and we've talked on this podcast a lot about the sport of gymnastics and how unique it is that people train their whole lives for just a couple minutes of competition. And I don't think people who don't watch or are a gymnast realize that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty much like training your whole life to compete, maybe compete at the Olympics for less than 4 minutes. I mean, in today's standards, you have 8 seconds for vault, uh, 30 seconds for bars if it's a long routine, 1.5 minutes for beam, and 1.5 minutes for floor. So it's, yeah, three
It's
minutes
exactly
and
that, with the salute in and out.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Make the impression, and yes, it's I think all of the athletes is making a blueprint. Like for me, when I was growing up, I think that's why I wanted to continue to and start gymnastics, because like my blueprint when I was growing up, my coach was constantly talking about Nadia Comaneci, Nadia Comaneci, Nadia Comaneci, the pointed toes, the beautiful hands, the smile, it was something radiant about that athlete, the smile, the look, the play. And yes, of course, we are looking and we are teaching all of our athletes to actually have all of those components. But when I was growing up, yes, it was every event that I went, I was supposed to be doing everything like Nadia. And when I was inducted into the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame, class of 2022, I actually told Nadia, I was sitting by her and I said, Nadia, can I please tell you a very interesting story, because when I started gymnastics, my coach was telling me all about you and the style and the toes and and all. And I said, you were everywhere. You were in my gym. You were by me. You were on my wall. You were everywhere. So, and she was my true inspiration, besides that teddy bear. Yes, that was like, that little bear, it slept with me on the pillow when I put my bed, nice and neat. The teddy bear was there. I mean, it was, it was the whole shenanigans. But, when I told Nadia that, she was everywhere with me at the practice and all of the events, at the choreography when we were doing bar ballet, and when we were doing dances, and when we were doing skills, when we all of the events that I was going, it was constantly. So now I understand that is the words of the encouragement, not comparison, because Nadia was already the spotlight of the entire world, and to many other athletes and to many other gyms everywhere in the world. There is not one person who does not know Nadia. Okay. And, when I told her that a true inspiration story, how I started gymnastics and why I wanted to stay in gymnastics, and even now teaching gymnastics, because I am translating that legacy, what helped me to get to that top.
And we have one last formal question before we have our fan questions. And um,
No, I think we would have to. I'm sorry to interrupt
oh,
you,
go ahead.
but my battery is like very low. So if something, it's not because it turned off. If something, it's but we can, maybe schedule another just for our fans. I would love that. I am having
Yeah, that would be
so much
nice.
fun. I hope you too,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun as well.
We can. Well, here we'll just. Why don't we just skip to some of the fan questions and we'll get through what we get through, and then
What if we do your question first,
sure.
and
Okay.
then we're gonna get to the fans? No disrespect, but I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. Oh no, you're fine. I love this. You're giving so much history, and I'm loving this conversation. The last question, it's kind of even personal to me, because a lot of my students are, because I teach younger kids. A lot of my students are athletes themselves. What message would you give to any young athlete or even kid out there who's trying to like make it, whether it's in gymnastics or something else? Like, what message do you have for them?
Uh, in that message that I'm gonna give, don't self sabotage, and don't let anyone to sabotage you, because it's the two different topics. Because at first you trying to interfere with your thoughts, with your head, to implement something, which is that's where the self sabotage start. Now there's another sabotage, is where somebody or a teammate or somebody else see that you are good and you have absolutely fantastic potential to get to whatever you're trying to get, and now the sabotage that from somebody comes, it's okay, don't take a turn, don't do that, you're good enough. So that's a distraction. Third, don't be distracted. uh, Fourth, if you having hard time, do not give up. Don't give up on yourself. Just show up. Even if you're not doing anything in that gymnasium while everybody's there, just sit down, soak the atmosphere. Maybe something will snap or click like a switch, and then you can interact with your team and actually go and support and be involved in the team practice. And then, of course, the fifth one or the sixth one, um, don't give up, never give up. Never give up, never surrender, fake it until you make it, and get to the top at whatever cost. If you have a will, don't betray that will, because that will is a precious jewel that all of us has, and sometimes it can be deemed by another people or words, and or other things. So never give up on yourself.
Sweet. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I will
Yes.
probably clip that part and show them on Monday when I see them again. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, absolutely. Do we have fans questions, anything, any
Yeah,
cool questions?
yeah, I put them in our chat. Do you want to start with the first one, Anan?
Sure.
Or I'll do the first one real quick. This was from Instagram. So the first question I got was, did you feel like you had a good chance at winning the all-around gold medal? So I think like coming into the Olympics, were you like, oh yeah, I have a really good chance? Or were you like, we'll see? Like, what was your thoughts on that?
My thoughts was to get through all of my routines without any mistakes. So I didn't come there and, telling myself, oh my gosh, I'm just going to win this and it's going to be easy peasy and that's it. Close the close the event and go. Oh no. Yes, I was very focused and driven not to make any mistakes. That was the ultimate goal, number one. Yes. So, and of
Perfect.
course, when I heard my name, Tatiana Gutsu, I was like, I looked at Oksana, I was like, what? And I mean, and I went there. I was in disbelief that I actually got to that. After being in the team competition, and the other feelings was flooding my head and my heart and my body. I thought that I was not competing anymore. So again, hearing my name and calling me on the podium to be first, it was just amazing, amazing feelings in the world to achieve that gold medal.
Amazing. And we have another one here, because we even talked before, like me and Carl, that you versus Shannon Miller back in 1992 is pretty much like an old version of Rebecca versus Simone Biles today. Because it was so close, both of you so like good and examples in the sport. So, what are your thoughts on these incredible gymnasts, both Simone Biles and Rebecca Andrade?
Uh, okay, so the question is about Rebecca Andrade and Simone Biles.
Yes, your thoughts on
I've
them.
seen, okay, so I've seen the girls 2 years ago at the World Championship in Antwerp in Belgium, and they're incredible. I mean, they're just incredible. And yes, maybe they are the version of me and Shannon Miller. And also, I saw Shannon Miller last year, and the she's just been fascinating, and
Yeah.
all her talents and everything that we have done. We're just not little girls anymore. We're growing women, and so with full of respect and integrity. But I think what in 21st century Simone Biles and Rebecca is showing is, we have not seen anything like this ever, because it's just another step of fascinating gymnastics, and gymnastics do evolve,
Yeah.
and we're just waiting for the something for another incredible individual to show something incredible. But I did see the Olympic Games, and I did see Rebecca performing the floor routine, and I stood. I couldn't sit. It's not possible to sit. The music was just, it was just so powerful,
Yeah.
and you don't want to sit on the chair. You want to get up and you want to start dancing, and you wanted to do the moves, which is I have seen. And there's like some little girls, posting Rebecca's doing her floor routine, and then they're like underneath the TV doing the moves and stuff like that. So of course, Simone Biles is known for her unique difficulties, and she is just one of a kind.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know who needs to be in the what 22nd century to be, to be that one, to be to have all. I mean, yes, she is expressing her dance, and she is amazing in her tumbling passes, and the difficulty, the tremendous difficulty in her performance. And it's I think that Rebecca and Simone Biles is a literally one of a kind inspiration in the different century.
Amazing
I
to hear.
Yeah, I would agree. I also went to the World Championships in 2023, and it was just like you could just feel it every time they'd walk on the floor. Like it was insane to be there live. Like they were
Yes.
incredible.
Did you feel the vibe
Oh
in
yeah.
in the arena, right? I mean, you
Yes.
could you could you could feel the vibe in arena, and it's not like a whispering vibe. It's like the energy. You could
Yeah.
feel the energy, the athlete, the audience, like the. I miss that. Don't get me wrong, I miss that. But but it's their time to shine, and it's another athlete's time to shine. Yes.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of friends that I've kind of met that just all love gymnastics, and we talk. Some of them are came here to this, so they might still be on. And I told them that the audience and the vibe of the World Championships was the best I've ever felt at a gymnastics competition. And I went to the Paris Games live, and Antwerp was like way higher than even the Paris Games. Um, the other another fan question wanted your thoughts on what do you think of today's gymnasts being more friendly and supportive to each other than previous generations? At least in their opinion, that's their view of it.
I think it has to do a lot of different countries transitioning into the different thinking, and different like we don't have the iron gate anymore, where we cannot talk to somebody else, because how we were raised, and because it was the closed Soviet Union, the iron gates and stuff like that. So we had specific teachers, and we were trained on what we're supposed to answer, how are we supposed to answer, and things like that. And I can understand why, because back then it was rarely, if now the parents can go and actually watch their kids, they can buy ticket to the airplane. They can buy tickets to, to go to see world champion or to go to the Olympics. Back then, it was like, yeah, no. I don't know. It was any other option actually. So I think it was like a closed gate, and um, the transition is actually happened. I would say like 2000, like in 2000. So in 96 it was still that toughness, but I can see the transition, even you see the laid back between even the athletes and the coaches. Like it's not, you can't feel the tension anymore. It's like everybody's going and showing their best, doing their best, but there is no tension, negativity any longer, or anything like that. I haven't seen that. And the respect between the athletes is just a different approach, more friendly approach than back then. But I do remember, just recently, a couple of months ago, I was watching, my son got me, on my birthday, he got me DVD from Olympics, and it's showing the scene where after Mila, Shannon, and I, we get off the podium, and I am putting my arm around Shannon and about Mila, and Shannon is looking, giving that like, oh wow, and to me it was just a friendly gesture, because all of us earned that spotlight, and all of us worked very hard, and how we've been judged, it's not up to us, to the athletes. We're just doing our best, and we just wanted to wow ourselves and wow our um, coaches, that we got to that spotlight, and so we got to that podium, on the highest podium ever in the sports, or Olympics. There, like, again, it's nothing higher than Olympics, and our countries to be proud of us. So this is a true respectful moment, that you were showing that respect, and you were supporting with the cheer, with the high five, or even a kiss. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's we need to adapt that, and welcome that. Yeah.
Amazing. And we have the last one here. Let me just double check. Oh my God.
Here, I have it. You're good.
You have it. Okay, go
Yeah,
for it.
no, we're good. We're good. Another person asked if you still talk to any of your Olympic or world teammates, or just anyone from back then. Do you guys still stay in contact?
I think I think we grew apart a little bit, and that's okay, because growing up as teenagers, we were looking for that support and and comfort, because we didn't know anything else. And our ultimate goal, we're not necessarily our good friends maybe back then, but our ultimate goal was to get to the top, to get to the Olympics, and to compete as a team and support each other. So maybe our interests are grew apart, although we're still in gymnastics, and that's okay. We have to accept that, and from time to time, if I see somebody, yes, of course, I'm gonna be friendly, and somewhat we're gonna share the information, how we were training, and how are we supporting each other. But we're growing women, and we have families, and if we're not friends, that's okay.
Very nice. So it was it from me. Do you have something else to add, Carl?
I don't think so. You answered so many questions within one
Yes.
question. So it was, yeah, I loved this conversation. I would go live or do whatever anytime. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much,
Exactly.
guys. You have been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your wonderful questions. And thank you so much for initiating that. And I hope this is just a warm up for us for the much greater conversations, and supporting our communities, because I well understand that I may here in the United States, but you're in different country and you're in different country, but the message to all is one: the power is in you.
Exactly. And guys, this was Tatiana Gutsu, our 1992 Olympic champion. Thank you very much for coming. It was a pleasure. And this recording will be on YouTube. So whenever you want to listen again, you're able to. And also, it's going to be on Spotify later. Tatiana, thank you very much again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You have a fantastic weekend, and thank you for the opportunity. And let's make great things and positive things happen and spread the love and unity to all.
Same. Bye
Thank you. Bye,
bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
So, see you next time.
See you next time.